All right, welcome to Feisty Chess. It's been a while. I've got white, and I'm going against Adad's on Wii Chess. 10-5 game. I did remember to get the 5-second increment in there, though, today. I've been playing a lot of 10-0 lately to try to help myself respect the clock more, to not get in time trouble. And I think it's working, hopefully. Anyway, we've got a Sicilian, and I'm playing the Smith-Morra Gambit against it with d4. Black should take. And now black has a few choices. Of course, what I'd love to see is accepting the gambit, because that's when the fun begins. Black could also play d3, knight c6, e6, e5, knight f6, d5. These are all options. You can even see a6. G6. Yeah, black can play virtually anything here, but okay, we have a Morra Gambit accepted. Okay, so black will probably make a bunch of pawn moves to try to cover some key central squares, and in the meantime, I'm going to get all my pieces out. Okay, I'm thinking if I castle, he might have knight takes e4 with the fork trick. No, he doesn't, because this bishop check. I'm also thinking, is e5 really good right now? E5. That puts me into a queenless middle game. I'm looking at e5 takes, queen takes, king takes, and then knight takes pawn with the threat of this. As far as I can tell, he has to play king back to e8. And I'm still a pawn down. He can't castle, but I mean, I might have some kind of advantage there. But it's much more fun to just castle and carry on. I was worried about the fork trick here. Knight takes, and then after knight takes, this would be the fork trick, but it doesn't work because I can get the bishop to safety with a check. And then I'll just be up a piece. For 2 pawns, though, since I've already gambited 1. All right, I've been playing a lot of 10-0. My rating fluctuates a lot. I've been trying to get it up over 2,300 lately. I've come within about 20 points of that and then crash and burn. Such is chess life. I find that when you're not thinking about your rating is when it goes up, when you're not too focused on it. So maintaining a certain calm, confidence, but also a vigilance. One of the most important things I found for playing your best chess is not trying to shoehorn everything into a particular style. You don't have to play like Tal in every move, for instance. Okay, bishop e7. Now queen e7, queen e2 would be the normal move here. I'm wondering if there's any way I can exploit black's move order. He hasn't played knight c6 yet. I still got e5. But now he can recapture with the bishop. So let's just let's build up a little time edge. Keep playing the natural moves of the Morra. Okay, after castles, now I'm starting to set up threats with rook to d1. Now I am threatening to play e5. So black probably wants to play e5 himself here. Knight c6 doesn't work, though. That gets black in some trouble. And a6 is another move black would like to make, but at this point he needs to play e5, I think. kind of an unnatural thing to have to play. This is the main line in some sense of the Morra, but there's a little bit of a transposition here. Usually this this move comes rather than castles. Knight c6. But at the point my rook comes to d1, I'm really this e5 is a big threat, and maybe we'll see why if black doesn't react to that. Okay, queen a5 is one idea. Bishop d2 comes quickly to mind, but the queen wants to swing over here. Can I argue that his queen is misplaced here? How about bishop g5 here? Threatening to take, and he has to take by the pawn unless he wants to lose this pawn. It also cuts the queen off from h5 for the moment. I've often gotten annoyed when the queen gets to h5. Yeah, I'm going to go bishop g5, and I'm completely developed. And my rooks are connected anyway. I'd like to get this rook to c1 at some point, and that's the ideal Morra setup. Usually the bishop on the Morra goes to e3. But since the queen no longer watches this pawn, I'm trying to exploit that. Now that I think about it, he could maybe play h6 here. The threat isn't immediate, in other words. So takes. I take here, and he gets the pawn back by taking twice here. But then I get my rook to c1 with tempo. That might be good for me anyway. Okay. That's a move. Rook c1 looks simple enough. Not sure the knight really wants to be on d7. Look how it plugs up that bishop. I could come back to bishop f4. That would seem, yeah, kind of a waste. Rook c1. Bishop b5 might be an idea. If I take, he's going to recapture with a knight. And that looks really good for black, actually. Take, and then maybe push. That doesn't really achieve anything. Well, I don't see what kind of productive moves black can make, so I'm going to make one productive for myself. So we got all of our pieces in the action here. We got clamped down on d5. Okay, if I drop back to b3 with this bishop, knight c5 is coming. There's ideas on d3. The bishop can go to d3. I feel like it's a time for action. Bishop f4. Looks good, and then there's e5. H4. Okay, I'm going bishop f4. I'm going to lose my time edge if I keep thinking too long. A3 was another idea. Okay. All right, now I think the bishop looks good on e3. Might need to go to d2. I'm not sure. I'll go to e3. If he plays knight g4, I'll just drop back, and then I can kick that knight later. I don't think it can go anywhere good. That might give him time to get f5 in, though. Okay, that limits the queen's activity. Let's keep pieces on the board. That bishop likes it there. Also looking at bishop d4, d5. Okay. Okay, this is a threat. Ah, yeah, I've moved this bishop too many times. Actually, yeah, it is a threat. It is a threat. I can't defend this tactically. Okay, so maybe knight d5. Then I end up losing a2, don't I? Let's just scare that queen off a little bit. Bishop back to d2. I still effectively have control over d5 here. Man, this bishop is being abused, but it's just, I need that rook on the d-file. And he was threatening to play d5 and free his position. It's important to keep this square under control. If he goes b4 now, a knight can come to d5, and I can recapture with pieces rather than with that pawn. Okay. Well, the knight is extremely passive there. I don't want to trade bishops. I'll go back here. And if you play knight back up to f6, I'm going to go h3. And I think I've gained something. He goes king over. He wants to play f5. Okay, he needs to give up the knight. He needs to give up the bishop for the knight here, because I've got... No, he's covering things. He's covering b6 with that pesky knight. He's covering c7 with his other knight. His knights look really terrible, but... Okay. Happy to take that bishop pair. I'll trade off a pair of rooks just to get control of this open file. Now can I go rook c6? I could also try knight g5. Yeah, his knights are just really sad pieces there. Rook c6 seems more forcing. Well, actually, knight g5, you can just take with the bishop. I got the bishop pair. That opens my queen up on the king side too. Let's go with knight g5. Okay. Knights versus bishops. And back he goes. Well, if he wants to play f5, he's going to have to spend 2 moves to play it, I guess. I'll get the bishop here, and then I can play f3. Actually, I won't play f3. If he plays f5, I'm going to take. And then once he retakes with the rook, I play bishop e4. And I've got those bishops aimed at his king. With the queen coming to h4, h5, some lines. Okay. Looking at takes. Rook c6. It seems to win a pawn back, and his remaining knight is really terrible. Take b6, queen takes, rook c6. Alternatively, I can go bishop b3. Do I want to keep this bishop pair? I'm going to take it. I guess this doesn't get the pawn back, does it? But I have huge activity here. I think I will get the pawn back, actually, like a4 maybe. Now rook c6 really makes rook c8 makes lots of threats. Everything else is covered. I'm not getting back ranked. Yeah, this knight being pinned is quite deadly. I can play either bishop c6 or even bishop f7. Might be better. First thing Black might want to do is get rid of the back rank threat. So this is a common kind of Smith-Morra theme. I mean, I'm still down the pawn, right? The point isn't getting back the pawn, but just look at how active my pieces are. And I can afford to make just maintenance moves here, like a3 and h3. I think Black is pretty much in a bind. I don't know. I'm just going by impression here, but how does Black stop bishop c6, for instance? Okay, he gets out of the back rank. So now bishop f7 doesn't win anything. Bishop c6. Yeah, and I don't have back rank problems, so I'm just going to win a piece. I'm wondering if I have time for h3. Where can his knight go? Or a3. I might be losing both of these pawns for that knight. I think I'd rather keep the pressure on Black here, and I'll go a3 so I'm not dropping the a pawn after bishop c6. I don't see how he can stop bishop c6, frankly. Maybe bishop c6 isn't even the right idea. Maybe I'd play another h3 and then go like queen g4, queen h5. Oh, queen h5. That would do it, wouldn't it? So h3 and then queen h5. Yeah, this is a time for patience. Not just being, what's the word, too hurried to get the pawn back. If he goes king h8, king h7, I mean, then he's threatening to play rook h8. I'm not sure that's much of a threat, honestly. Okay, okay. I think I might as well take queen a1, queen f1, queen takes b2, and then I've just got the extra piece, and it'll take him a tempo at least to... Yeah, okay. I'm happy with this. Gain a little bit of time. And can I afford to just go after this pawn too? Yeah, this is pretty crushing, right? Otherwise, he's going to have that pawn run with it. He hasn't made any efforts to save the knight. The knight's not going anywhere. I can bring my queen back to f1 whenever I need to. In the meantime, let's win ourselves a knight, huh? Yeah. Queen f1. I get real nervous with this back rank, but I've always got queen f1. All right, I got to get moving here. I mean, I do have an increment, but 22 seconds isn't a lot of time. Ads or ad dads, like the dads you see in advertisements. Maybe overthinking this. Okay, he does have d5 to try to break the pin, but it's too late because I just... Okay, well, this doesn't work, though. I can just take like that, and I'm up a bishop, but he's got... Okay, he's got that. That's his idea. Okay, how to do this? Let's just coordinate the pieces. I like the look of the bishop right there. I'll make some back rank mate threats if you're not going to. Okay, this looks very nice. How does he stop mate? I don't think he can. Not in a hurry. Let's just... Okay, first let's do this. And if he goes for a check, I've got g3. And then I'm ready to start making my own threats. Maybe should have just played g3 immediately, because I have that back rank. Okay, Now things are looking good. Except for that clock. Let's just do this. Okay, I've got this now. Let's just get back where the pawns want to promote. Build up a little time. If he tries to push, I'll just set up a blockade and I should be fine. Let's take that square away from him. I've got the wrong rook pawn there. Oof, I need to be careful. The wrong rook pawn. Okay, can I take and go with the pawn ending? I think I can. Okay, now he can never leave that square. So I need to triangulate. He takes. He's got to take now. My king is a lot, I think, more mobile than his. I don't know. This might be a draw. I might have messed this up. Probably should have just hung onto the bishop longer. I got antsy. I thought I saw a winning ending. And maybe this was winning. I don't know, but with not enough time, it's hard to find out. He can't, yeah, he's got to do that. And I've got to take back. Now he goes here. Let's go straight back. Let's go this way. Yeah, I can outmaneuver him here. Now he has to give up the pawn. Okay. Whew. I think that is winning. I want to look at that. I'm not sure. Maybe black messed up. Maybe this was drawn. But in my experience, this protected pass pawn is worth a lot more than this passer here. Zugzwanged him now. If he ever tries to run in front of the pawn, yeah, he maybe should have tried that. Now we're just going to shoulder him out of the way. Okay, he's making it tricky. I just got to make sure to avoid repeating the position. Let's come here. Okay, it's time. I need to start pushing this pawn is the thing. And if he comes, yeah, there he resigns. Let's look at the analysis. Right at the very end here, if he goes here, then I just queen the pawn. I'm going to cover this square. If he goes anywhere else, I'm just stepping. The simplest way is just to step sideways and take this pawn. Maybe the only way. So I'll gobble the other one up. So I had that right here, actually, and then Yeah, we did one triangulation, one repetition of moves. Okay. Let me go ahead and click this computer analysis button and see what comes up. But let's start, of course, from the beginning. So, Smith-Morra Gambit. This is the main position that Smith-Morra accepted. Usual move, the most popular move here is knight c6, which black here took a long time to play. He never did play knight c6, actually. e6 is fine. A lot of this stuff transposes. Bishop e7. Looks like e5 in the one case it was played looks good here. Let's turn on the computer and try not to rely too heavily on it. So yeah, queen e2. I'm going to turn off the computer for now. Now rook to d1. He breaks the pin with queen a5. Now I'm curious about this move. It's not in any of the games. Computer likes bishop d7. Knight e8 even. Okay, not a terrible move. But now there's no game found. We're out of the database. It likes bishop f4. I went with bishop g5, so f4 is maybe better. After all, I'm trying to put pressure on this weak d-pawn, and bishop f4 is a much more direct way to do that. Oh, but then there's d5. Let's look at that computer line. d5, e takes, and then queen b6. Really? I'm just going to take back. Oh, the thing is, I've got enough firepower on it that, yeah, I could even take with the rook. Okay, but this similar idea, and I ended up moving this bishop way too much. I didn't play the opening quite right. Bishop e5 is maybe a little inaccuracy. Bishop g5, I mean. a4, just to stop b5. That makes sense. That occurred to me. Oh, now bishop f4 is not that good, because b5 should be coming. b5, bishop b3, queen b6. I don't understand why this is better for black, personally. Queen to b8. Just hunkering down. Excuse me. Yeah, knight c5 runs into maybe bishop c2, threatening b4. Anyway. Okay. Well, one good mistake was met by another. Now the bishop goes to e3. I was trying to provoke e5 when I played bishop f4. But b5 allows the queen to come back and defend with the pawn in front of it on b5. Okay. Now back to bishop g5. I went to e3. Oh, the computer likes d2. That's probably better. Yeah, and I did have to go to d2 here. And looks like black has an advantage. I've wasted a little too much time with that bishop, obviously. Now bishop g5. Okay, I'm glad the computer likes that. Thing is, I don't want this knight to move, and if the knight moves, I want to punish it by taking and then taking something. Actually, the knight can't move now for a different reason. I could just grab because the pawn is pinned. So it's good to open up that rook, especially when the queen went back home here. Okay, so this move makes sense to me, but at the same time, the knight is just so bad on e8, and that ended up being really important here. I like the plan of f5. I think king h8 is a good move, but computer doesn't agree. Okay, a4 is an idea, or knight d5. That's what I played. Now the computer likes white. Rook c8 would have been a good idea. He never did play that. Now he does. Okay. Bishop c6. That looks good. Well, bishop b7. I just went for this. This is all good. Got got control of the C file. Rook c6 it likes. I went for knight g5. Bishop takes. Okay, I thought that might have been a mistake. Okay. Oh, rook c8 immediately. Okay. Rook c8 is more direct. I found that eventually. Yeah, that rook and bishop are a monster team here. Yeah, and I have time to... These are all good moves. Yeah, just... Okay, game-winning mistake. Just getting rid of any counterplay with the A-pawn. Now finally going for it. I don't think I need to even here. I think I can also just play this. But I was so low on time, I finally got pressured enough to bite on this. And black went with this check. Queen c2. g3. f3 probably works. No, it doesn't. Wow, f3 gives it up somehow. Oh, because he can get queen c5 and then push this to protect the rook. Well, is that really in time? Rook g8. Oh, because my bishop is no longer on d5. That's why bishop c6 is a pretty committal move, because black never has rook g8 here to break the pin. But as soon as I play bishop c6, he can break the pin. So yeah, I think h3 would have been a little better here. And then I'm free to pile up all I want on this knight. f5, but come on, now there's queen h8. Queen check. Oh, there's perpetual ideas. Okay, well, I must have done it right. Right enough, anyway. Okay, so he's got the two pawns. Yeah, bishop g6. I was happy here. Boy, there was a much quicker way to that. Oh, but yeah, I couldn't play that until later. I thought I had him mated here, honestly. Yeah, just make some left. I'll probably queen, if I had more time, I maybe would have found queen b7. And that threatens bishop f7 check. Maybe, and he can't, yeah. I've always got g6 in the case of that check, g3. Instead, I went for this, since I was low on time and I wanted an ending. Bishop g6 is better, because then f5 is not possible. Okay, but still. Oh, this is a draw? I've got to go king g3? Wow. Okay, I was not pumped about king g3 because of g5. But now he's losing a pawn. It looks so dangerous. But he goes d2, and then my bishop is in time to guard. And I'm going to play king f5. I mean, he can get his king in the game, but king f5. This happens, and I'm getting all these pawns. So there's the simple win at the end of that frightening looking line. But I found a way to... That's a clear blunder, king g1. Yeah, even this is a dead draw, apparently. Honestly, his king is getting out of position here. I should simply play bishop a8, and then he goes back to e5. Okay, maybe I get myself the best chances here. This is a draw. How did black mess it up? King d6. I can try to get cute here. How am I not winning this? I mean, this is a table-based position, right? King d6, and now king c4. King e4. And my pawn runs d3, you got this kind of business. Oh, this looks super tough for black to survive, doesn't it? I wish I had queen d5 here, but he's got king takes pawn at the end of it. So like this, king g3. Now, is this really not winning? That's beyond my ken. That's above my pay grade here. Whew. Okay, well, could have played this better. King f1. I'm still perplexed as to how that just draws. Let's see the computer line. King e1. Why not king e2? I don't know. Well, let's just look at the computer's line. King e1, king e5, bishop a4, king e5, bishop e8. What are you doing with that bishop? d3. Black's going to get set up on the white squares here. Bishop g6. Strange. King f6. I don't think the computer line is going to be too instructive. We got our bishop eyeballing all these pawns. g6. Probably it's a draw because this pawn cannot win the game. So if all the other pawns go away, if I manage to trade off 5 pawns for 2, and I have a bishop and this pawn, I can't win because this bishop can never help get the king out of the corner that the pawn is going to promote at. So maybe that's the deal here. Oh, the bishop's going to get trapped if he's not careful now. So he's just got to come back. Yeah, this computer line is not very instructive, but hopefully the game in general was. The whole theme of the Morra Gambit, like, yeah, I'm not getting that pawn, but I have control of the game for a long time. I've got a positional advantage. I've just got to pull, as they say, and eventually that panned out, despite my time trouble. Yeah, rook c8 here makes more sense, but still. If I'd had a little more time, I could have played this more accurately, of course. And maybe queen e1 is the way to go here, right? This watches both of these pawns, and you still can't stop bishop c6. So that would have been a nice simple solution. No back rank problems, pawns are all guarded. And I'm just going to win the knight next. And there's nothing to be done about it. Okay, still have time for like h3. All right, well, a little more time, that would have gone well. But I wasn't punished too hard for it. Thank you for the game, ads, and thank you, kind viewer, for watching. Stay feisty.